we are going to be launching the National Aboriginal Gang Prevention Commission here at the second National Aboriginal Gang Prevention Conference. It's been 3 years in the making. It's going to be a historical time for Aboriginal people in this country.
My name is Kevin Daniels. I am the National Chief of the Congress of Aboriginal People, and I'm from the Coacatus First Nation.
At the age of 17, I was kicked out of Dojak for fighting a staff of Dojak and got thrown into the correctional center. And there was an older man there that pretty much took the opportunity that, because he was a gang recruiter for Native Syndicate. And this is when it was just starting in Manitoba and Winnipeg and stuff. So he took the opportunity to kind of introduce it to us, and we were like, you know, cool. This, you know, we'll be all, you know, gang members and we'll have fun. But it never ends up that way, because as soon as you hit the street, your life belongs to somebody else. And as soon as your life belongs to somebody else, you end up doing stuff that you don't want to do. My first mission that I had to do was I had to stab a guy, and I almost killed him. And I didn't like it, but I did it because they told me either you do it or it's going to get done to you.
We made history by launching the National Aboriginal Gang Prevention Commission, a commission designed to go cross-country to seek out victims, ex-gang members, and bring together those who have concerns regarding the gangs and gang activity within their communities, and to bring forward not only recommendations to the government, but as well implement gang prevention programs where it is needed.
I have a daughter who's here in Edmonton. She's in her second year of medicine. And on January 1st of this year, her husband was shot and killed and beaten before he died, total stranger, by two gang members who had gone into a restaurant where he was eating New Year's Day afternoon. We thought maybe, when we first heard about it, we thought that he might have been caught in the line of fire and accidentally shot inside the restaurant, which would have been easier to accept. But the fact that they chased him and they beat him, and we thought maybe they might have been afraid that he would be a witness, he would be able to identify them.
We've gathered together Canada's leading Aboriginal gang prevention advocates in this country. I've worked with many of them on many occasions. I've watched them work throughout the communities and see the good work that they've been doing.
I met my guy at a powwow, and I was a sober girl, clean and sober, going to ceremonies, being a good girl, blah, blah, blah. I never really knew anything about gangs. At that point, I had known that a lot of my friends had turned into Red Alert, but I still didn't know really what the gang life consisted of. We were like two peas in a pod. I had never loved anyone so much in my life like I loved him. We hit it off so good. And time goes on, and I started asking questions about gangs and asking him questions about him, and he kept saying he was a non-active gang member, but at this point, about a couple years down the road, the other gang members in his gang started questioning his loyalties because he wasn't doing anything gangster.
We need the commitment of the commission members to ensure that they go right out to the grassroots levels across this country, right to the street levels, to gather the necessary information that they need in order to put solutions on the table. It's crucial that we do our work from the ground up. And being a national leader, being a grassroots person myself who grew up in the streets, this is where we as a national organization must continue to do our work, and that is with our grassroots people across this country.
Richard went to a party with some friends, I remember feeling uneasy that evening at about 11 p.m. I felt the need to go out and look for him as I sensed that he was in danger. For some reason, I didn't do that, which is something that I regret to this day. We found out that it was around that time that Richard was fatally injured. Richard had his struggles with alcohol and drugs, but he was never in a gang. Some of the young men that he grew up with became gang members, and some of them were at the same party that night. I went looking for many of those young men the next night, and I confronted them and asked them what kind of brave gang members they were, that they would run away and hide and leave a friend to fight for his life.
We hope to gather Aboriginal youth from across the country, giving them the opportunity to talk about the different lifestyles of gang lives, whether from a man's perspective, from a woman's perspective, and to show Aboriginal youth and the general public the dangers of gang life. We now have well-known actor Adam Beach, and he will be our national spokesperson.
It's just about communicating with problems, you know? Basically taking a kid who's in the gang and he's telling everybody, I don't need you in my life, when all we have to do is communicate with him and say, well, why are you doing this? What can we do to help?
We are very, very successful. We have launched the National Commission, and they will be putting together a national strategy on Aboriginal gangs here in Canada. Becoming the national chief in January 2009 gave me the opportunity to bring forward not only my dream, but I was also being guided by the spirit of April Sparvier.
April was a very important part of my family. My only daughter, April, and I will never do that. Our lives will never be the same. There will always be something there that's going to remind us of her. Her children will see the children she adored. They were an inspiration. We will never see her glowing eyes, beautiful smile, and her as the person she was. My heart aches, my world doesn't. It's still hard to believe that she's gone. April was my best friend. And I was the one she loved. Right now everything going on I go through is taking its toll on me. Just to hear that what my daughter had to go through to live due to drugs really tears me up inside. And that's something that I'll never forget. And I could never forgive the people who did that to my daughter.